Now let's cover bilateral chart patterns. Now, bilateral chart patterns are a bit more tricky for the reason being they can signal the price to go either direction. So it's both a continuation pattern and a reversal pattern. So this is why bilateral patterns are a little bit tricky and you have to be a little bit careful with them. This is where triangle pattern formations fall into play. Remember when we discussed that price could break either to the top or top side or the downside with triangles? Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. With a bilateral pattern in these triangles, price could break either up or down, which is depending on the trend, a trend reversal or a trend continuation pattern. So let's kind of look into bilateral chart patterns a little bit more. Now let's look at asymmetrical triangle pattern. An asymmetrical triangle pattern is a chart pattern formation where the slope of the price is high and the slope of the price is low converge to meet each other at one single point. This is where it looks like exactly like a triangle. This is why we call it asymmetrical triangle, because both lines are symmetrical. We're going to pop an example of an asymmetrical triangle on the screen for you to look at real quick. So what exactly is happening during this formation? Within an asymmetrical triangle, you can see that the market is making lower highs and higher lows. This means that neither buyers nor sellers are pushing the price far enough to make a clear trend. This is where the battle between buyers and sellers comes in. It's pretty much a draw. So either buyers could take over and push the price up, or sellers could take the price over and push the price down. Asymmetrical triangle is also a type of consolidation. So looking at the example on the screen, you can see we have lower highs and higher lows. Like we said, neither buyers or sellers can push the price in their direction. When this happens, we get lower highs and higher lows. As these two slopes get closer and closer to each other, it means that there is a breakout coming soon. So either we're going to see a breakout to the top side or a breakout to the bottom side. Eventually, one of these sides is going to break in. Buyers are going to take over or sellers will take over. We can place entry orders above the slope of the lower highs or below the slope of the higher lows. Since we already know that price is going to break out, we can just hitch a ride in whatever direction the market goes. So maybe you place an order for a buy and also place an order for sell. So no matter what's going to happen, you'll be entered into a trade. We know that the market is going to break out in some sort of direction. We just don't know exactly what based off of asymmetrical triangle alone. Looking at this example, just like all the other patterns, we can measure the height of the asymmetrical triangle, and that's what's going to give us our target price level. So you measure the height, whatever that is, say it's 100 pips, then that's what your target level is going to be. So you take it from the breakout where it would break out of the symmetrical triangle and you put up your target level, your TP, at 100 pips. The next bilateral pattern that we're going to look at is called an ascending triangle. An ascending triangle is a chart pattern that occurs when there is a resistance level and a slope of higher lows. On the screen, we're going to pop up what exactly we're talking about here, where you can see a resistance level and higher lows being formed to form an ascending triangle. Now what happens exactly is during this time that there is a certain level of buyers that just cannot seem to exceed the sellers exactly. However, they are gradually starting to push the price up and up and up by creating higher lows. As you can see, buyers cannot break that resistance line and all they're doing is creating higher lows. Now we're going to see a breakout here. Now we just don't know exactly right now whether it's going to be to the upside or to the downside, since this is a bilateral pattern. In the example, you can see that buyers are starting to gain strength because they're making higher lows. They keep putting pressure on the resistance level, and as a result, a breakout is bound to happen. Now the question is, which direction will it go? Will buyers be able to break the level, or will the resistance be too strong? Many charting platforms and books out there will tell you that in most cases the buyers will win the battle with an ascending triangle, and the price will break out past the resistance. However, it has been our experience that this is not always the case, so you have to be careful with this. Sometimes the resistance level is too strong. This is where it goes back to what time frame are you on. If you're on a lower time frame, most likely the buyers will actually gain control and take price up to the upside. Now, if you're on a higher time frame, buyers are going to struggle to break that resistance level, since it's such a stronger resistance level on the higher time frame. So sellers might take control. So it really depends on what is forming in the markets, whether there's signals and indications you're having, if it's going to go to the upside or the downside, and what time frame you're on. In this example on the screen, you can see we measured the height of the ascending triangle. And in this specific example, price dropped, so it didn't break through the resistance level. Sellers actually came in and took over the market. So in this example, you can see right now that price dropped the exact amount that was measured in the ascending triangle.
Ascending triangle is a bullish continuation pattern. It is a consolidation pattern generally formed during uptrend, when price is holding a resistance level but still making higher lows. Let's take a look at the charts. As you can see, in an uptrend the high sets a new resistance. This level holds and price pulls back, creating a higher low. This process repeats itself for several times until price has no more room to oscillate and it finally breaks to the upside. The price target for this formation should be the height of the triangle measured up from the resistance level.
Now let's take a minute and look at a descending triangle, also known as a bilateral pattern, meaning it can either be a continuation pattern or it can be a reversal pattern. As you probably guessed now, a descending triangle is just the exact opposite of an ascending triangle. So instead of it being at a resistance, now we have a line of support. Since ascending triangle had a line of resistance, now a descending triangle has a line of support that is making lower highs. Here's an example on the screen of a descending triangle. As you can see, like we said, we have our support and then we have lower highs being created. You can see that price is gradually making lower highs, which tells us that sellers are starting to gain some ground against the buyers. Now, most of the time, and we do say most, the price will eventually break the support line and continue to fall. However, in some cases, the support line will be so strong, and it goes back to what I said on ascending triangles. It depends on what time frame, what indications of what's happening within the market that buyers could take over. But most likely, you will see a fall in price and sellers will continue to take over. But it's not always the case. In this example, you can see that we're in a downtrend, we're forming a descending triangle, and buyers actually took control. So this was the reversal pattern. Same goes with all the other patterns. We just measured the height of the pattern, and that's what gave us our take profit levels.
Descending triangle is in an opposite pattern. It generally forms during downtrend when there is a set support level, but the price is still making lower highs. In the chart you can see that price is unable to break the support level, but as the downside pressure persists, it finally breaks to the downside. The price target is the height of the triangle measured down from the support level.